The theater lights dim slowly, not with the usual dramatic flair that signals a big singing performance or a high-energy dance act, but with an uneasy hesitation, as if even the stage itself is unsure of what is about to happen. A soft murmur ripples through the audience as the massive America's Got Talent logo glows behind the curtain. Then, without any announcement music or confident stride, the curtain parts just enough to reveal a figure standing awkwardly at the edge of the stage. The contestant steps forward, and instantly the room feels different. This is not the kind of entrance that earns immediate cheers. There is no polished smile, no confident wave, no sparkling costume designed to impress. Instead, the performer is dressed in something that looks like it was assembled from several different worlds, part theatrical costume, part everyday clothing, and part something that defies description altogether. The colors clash in a way that seems accidental, yet intentional at the same time. The outfit draws the eye, but not in a comfortable way. People in the front rows lean toward one another, whispering, trying to figure out what they're looking at. A few nervous laughs echo through the audience, the kind of laughter that comes from uncertainty rather than humor. Some people clap politely, while others remain completely silent, arms crossed, waiting for an explanation that doesn't come. The performer doesn't speak. Instead, they stand still in the center of the stage, staring out at thousands of faces with an expression that's impossible to read, half serious, half oddly calm, as if they are perfectly aware of how strange this moment feels. At the judges' table, reactions begin to surface immediately. Howie Mandel tilts his head, squinting slightly, trying to decode the situation. Sofia Vergara smiles, but it's a confused smile, the kind that asks a question rather than offers approval. Heidi Klum glances sideways at Simon Cowell, waiting for his reaction. Simon, however, doesn't move. He leans back in his chair, arms resting casually, eyes locked on the stage. One eyebrow lifts just a fraction, a subtle sign that something has already gone off script. The contestant finally takes a step forward, then another, each movement deliberate and strangely slow. There is no background music yet, no introduction video, no friendly chat with the judges. The silence stretches, growing heavier by the second. Somewhere in the audience, someone coughs. Another person clears their throat. The tension builds not because something exciting is happening, but because nothing is happening at all, and that feels wrong on a stage built for spectacle. Simon breaks the silence. "So," he says, his voice cutting cleanly through the room, "tell us what you're going to do today." His tone isn't rude, but it's not warm either. It carries that familiar edge of skepticism that has ended many auditions before they even began. The contestant opens their mouth, pauses, then closes it again. For a brief moment, it seems like they might not answer at all. A few people in the audience laugh again, louder this time, sensing awkwardness turning into something uncomfortable. Finally, the performer speaks, but the words only deepen the mystery. The explanation is vague, almost poetic, offering no clear idea of what's coming next. It's not singing. It's not dancing. It's an experience, they say. Something you've probably never seen before. Simon's expression shifts, just slightly. He looks down the judge's table, then back at the contestant. "That's not very helpful," he replies dryly. The audience laughs, relieved by the familiar rhythm of Simon's blunt honesty. But even as the laughter fades, the confusion remains. The contestant nods slowly, as if this reaction was expected all along. They move to a marked spot on the stage, positioning themselves carefully under the lights. From this angle, the odd details of their outfit become even more noticeable. Mismatched textures, unusual accessories, and symbols that seem random but deliberate. It's the kind of look that invites interpretation, yet refuses to give any answers. In the crowd, phones begin to rise. People sense that whatever happens next, whether it's a disaster or a moment of brilliance, it's going to be memorable. The energy in the room shifts again, hovering between curiosity and doubt. This is the moment when most AGT auditions reveal their direction, when the first note is sung or the first move is made. But here, the performer simply stands, breathing slowly, eyes closed now, as if tuning into something only they can hear. Simon leans forward this time, elbows on the table. His earlier skepticism hasn't disappeared, but it has transformed into something else, cautious attention. He doesn't understand what's happening, and he doesn't like not understanding. The audience senses this too. Whispers spread. Some people shake their heads. Others lean in, unwilling to look away. As the stage lights adjust, casting long shadows across the floor, the performer finally raises their head. Their eyes open, locking onto the audience with quiet intensity. There is no smile, no apology for the awkwardness, no reassurance. Just a silent challenge, as if to say, you wanted something different. Now you have it. The silence doesn't break the way anyone expects it to. Instead of a clear musical cue or a dramatic sound effect, a low, uneven noise drifts through the theater, something between a hum, a mechanical whir, and a distant echo. It's soft at first, almost unnoticeable, but it's strange enough to make people sit up straighter in their seats. Heads tilt. Brows furrow. The performer begins to move, not in rhythm, not even in a recognizable pattern, but in short, deliberate motions that seem disconnected from the sound filling the room. The first movement draws a ripple of uneasy laughter from the audience. It's not funny in a joke-like way, but awkward, as if everyone is trying to reassure themselves that this is meant to be entertaining. The performer freezes mid-step, holding an unnatural pose for several seconds longer than feels comfortable. The sound stops abruptly. The sudden quiet feels louder than the noise that came before it. At the judges' table, Simon Cowell leans back again, lips pressed together. He watches closely, clearly trying to understand the logic behind what he's seeing. Howie Mandel's eyes widen with interest. This is the kind of unpredictability he secretly loves. Sofia Vergara lets out a soft laugh and glances toward the audience, sharing the collective confusion. Heidi Klum rests her chin on her hand, intrigued but cautious, unsure whether this is brilliance unfolding slowly or a train wreck in progress. The sound returns, this time sharper and faster, like fragments of music stitched together incorrectly. The performer reacts to it in an exaggerated way, jerky movements, sudden stops, exaggerated facial expressions that border on absurd. A few audience members laugh openly now, while others sit stiff and silent, clearly uncomfortable. The reactions are split, and that divide grows wider with every passing second. Simon shakes his head slightly, then looks down the judges' table as if to say, "Am I missing something here?" He leans toward his microphone, clearly tempted to interrupt, but he holds back. Something about the confidence, or maybe stubbornness, of the performer keeps him watching. The act may not make sense, but it's commanding attention in a way that's hard to ignore. Suddenly, the performer pulls out an unexpected prop. It's simple, almost ridiculous, and completely unexplained. Gasps ripple through the crowd, followed by laughter and whispers. The performer uses the prop in a way that seems intentionally wrong, misusing it, exaggerating its purpose, turning something ordinary into something absurd. The sound design shifts again, now incorporating awkward pauses and offbeat rhythms that make the audience unsure when to react. A man in the audience laughs loudly, unable to contain himself. Nearby, someone mutters, "What is this?" under their breath. The camera cuts to Simon, whose face says everything. His eyes narrow, his mouth twists slightly, and for a moment he looks genuinely baffled. This isn't the usual kind of bad audition he can dismiss easily. It's something else, confusing, deliberate, and strangely bold. The performer moves closer